What's up, everybody? This is Sean with Elevated Altitude. I am a Harley-Davidson Master Tech by trade for the last 20 years. Today we're going to be talking about the 2024 Burst Blue, like an initial response type thing. Lots to talk about, lots to go over. Stick around because we're going to dive into it. So with the new 2024, we're going to jump right into the powertrain. You obviously see we have a 117. This is a non-VVT motor. The only motors that get VVT are going to be CVOs. This motor is producing 105 horsepower and 130 foot-pounds of torque. The M8 powertrain has been fantastic. You can do a lot with very little just because the heads move so much air. I mean, just a small cam upgrade, and we're talking you can make some pretty decent horsepower that most riders are more than happy with. Now, there's others out there that I want more, I want more. I'm one of those guys. So now let's talk about design cues, the aesthetics. Like that's what all draws us to these motorcycles. With the 2023.5 CVO, we saw a fairing design change on the road glide and on the street glide, which is now implemented into the all new 24s. Personally, myself, it's taken some time because when you get used to one thing for so long and then Harley switches it up, you're like, I don't know about this. So with all that being said, like, it's growing on me. I really do like the fact that the turn signals are integrated into the fairing. From a technician standpoint, this fairing is a little bit more of a pain in the butt to get off. Saddlebags, you've got a lot more room for storage. They're bubbled out a little bit more. I can't remember exactly what the cubic feet is. Now let's talk about weight savings. So Harley cut, just from the wiring harness alone, they cut 4 pounds. That's a lot of weight. And all this weight savings that Harley's reduced these motorcycles by only enhances the rider feel. It allows the bike to feel more nimble. You can really just rip and beat this thing's guts up, and you're probably going to run out of talent before the motorcycle does. With all that being said, we do have a new rear suspension. I wish Harley would just get on board with dual shocks in the rear that have the same functions, not a twist crank on one side and a rebound adjuster on the other. That just completely doesn't make sense. Harley, give us what we're asking for, a suspension that actually works. Now, you hit it out of the park with the CVO and the inverted front forks. That made that motorcycle handle like a dream. When we got this motorcycle in on PDI, obviously Harley sent a bunch of pre-shipped gadgetry to put on there. We've got this fancy engine guard on there, and then I'm not sure what the name of the seat. I think it's a high step seat. That's a pretty comfy seat. The stock seat, to me, when I sat down on it initially, you felt a lot of pressure right here on the inside of your thighs, which would be what they call the saddle. Wasn't necessarily comfortable, but once you got your feet up and you were sitting and actually riding it, the seat felt amazing. Like, the comfort level of the seat is completely different from all the stock seats before. So with that being said, I guess you can sacrifice one when you got your feet down, because you only got your feet down for a very short amount of time, versus you got your feet up and rolling in the wind for hours on end. Let's talk about some other styling cues. So in the past, we've had taillights, we have turn signal bar that were run turn brakes. Now we have these super nice integrated tombstone lights that just really fill up the back end of this motorcycle. You know, again, it's taken me a little bit, but I'm really starting to appreciate the artistic side of, you know, these crisp lines that are all throughout the motorcycle. We have improved aerodynamics, 44 miles to the gallon. This M8 performs well, it handles well, a 32-degree lean angle on the left and the right side. So we're talking, that's a pretty heavy lean angle, guys. I mean, you can really get up into twisties and carve this thing up. Just an awesome riding motorcycle. And with the new rear suspension and the lightening of the weight, the diet that they put this thing on, well, it's like a Jenny Craig for motorcycles. So now let's talk about the infotainment system. It is a 12.3-inch Skyline operating system. This infotainment system is like something that has never been had before. Obviously with the Boom GTS radios, that was the first integration into touchscreen, and those were nice. Those were really nice. But this allows full customization of your screen. You can go sport, cruising, touring, and I think there's one other mode I can't remember right off the top of my head, which basically just moves your gauges around. You know, you can either have on touring, it has the full map, you know, and with your speed and tack, or you can do sport where it's got your speed and your tack and then like a little mini map that you could have in the center. With the 24s though, and this is probably a blessing in disguise, with the 24s, the nav is a subscription base only. I personally have never really liked Harley's GPS. I always felt that it took me around the block just to get across the street.
Expected the Rocky Mountains to be a little rockier than this.
Which is why I've always relied on Google Maps, Apple CarPlay, whatever, which no longer do you need a whim to have Apple CarPlay. It's fully integrated into the operating system, but you still do have to have a wireless headset because of they want it all hands-free. You know, you have your tray, keep your phone, your keys, your wallet. Storage space will allow you to put multiple things in there. Other than that, guys, you know, it's just up to you to get out and test ride one, fall in love with it. I really think that moving forward with what Harley's done with the packages, you can build your own motorcycle. For the longest time, we've had Road Glide Ultras, or Road Glide Limiteds, Ultra Limiteds. You know, now it's like Build-A-Bear. You know, you just go into the dealership, you're like, I like Burst Blue. It's just up to you to get out to your dealership and go test ride one. We would love for you to be a part of the Speedway family. So, what do you think about the new 2024s? Comment down below. You know, tell me what you think. I would love your feedback. Are you in love with it? Do you hate it? Are you a purist and like, that's not a Harley? What I have to say to that is we have to evolve. As a company, as a brand, we have to evolve, stay up with times. You know, if you're new to this, comment down below. Tell me what you think of it. Like, whether you've been riding for 40 years or whether you've only been riding for 6 months or you're just new to Harleys all in general, comment down below. I want to hear what you have to say. All right, guys, so that about wraps it up. You know, I wasn't gonna go into a full detailed, like, oh, it's this spec, this spec, this spec. You know, I just wanted to give a first initial response to, you know, what I think as a master tech after been doing this for so long. I love motorcycles. Love Jeeps, and I have a drone. I am a licensed drone pilot, so like I try to incorporate everything I do around what I love, and that's what sets me apart.